Starting prayer. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sah Veeram Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yoga Ganapati Moola Mantra. Om Ham Sangam Bhagavate Nitya Yoga Yuktaya Satchidananda Rupine Vinayakaya Namaha. Dakshinamurti Prarthana. ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. स्वामी विवेकानंद प्रार्थना. नमः श्री यतिराजाय विवेकानंद सूरये सच्चित् सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे स्वामिने तापहारिणे. Samarasya prayer for harmony from Rigveda. Om Sangachatvam Samvadatvam Samvo Manamsi Janatam Deva Sanjana upasate samano mantra samiti samani samanam manasah chittamesham samanam mantram abhimantrayevaha samanena voha vishajuhomi samani va समाना हृदयानि वः समानमस्तु वो मनः यथा वस्तु सहासति. पंचांगम. अद्यतन पंचांगम सप्तविंशत्यधिक एकशतोत्तर पंचसहस्रतम कलियुगाब्दः श्री विश्वावसु नाम संवत्सरः दक्षिणायनं वर्ष ऋतुः भाद्रपद मासः कृष्णापक्षः चतुर्थी तिथिः अश्विनी नक्षत्रं ध्रुव योगः बालवकरणं बृहस्पतिवासरः. Today's date 11th September 2025 Thursday. Viteshta Shriyamapnoti Varadayushyavardanam Nakshatratarate Papam Yogadroganivaranam Karanat Karyasiddhishcha Panchanga Phalamuttamam सर्वेषां शुभमस्तु.
Very good morning to all. Everything is easy when you are busy. Nothing is easy when you are lazy. This is one of the famous quotation from Swami Vivekananda. Today we have to remember Swami Vivekananda because Universal Brotherhood Day, where Swami Vivekananda ji has produced a wonderful speech at Chicago. In India, the many centers have adopted philosophy of Swami Vivekananda, like Kanyakumari, and those centers have produced modern Vivekanandas throughout India, especially Kanyakumari. Among those modern Vivekanandas who have adopted philosophy of Swami Vivekananda, 4 to 5 Vivekanandas have come to Bangalore and Jigini and decided to open Swami Vivekananda Yoga Anusandhana Samsthana. Among them, I can name Guruji is one, another one is our Raghuramji, who lived the life of Swami Vivekananda till today, preaching also. And again producing next generation Swami Vivekanandas through S-VYASA University. Today we are lucky to have Sri Raghuramji, who is also President of Yoga Bharati, with us. And today he will motivate us like Vivekananda motivated that day. Today he will motivate all of us through his speech.
Thank you, Aditya. Namaste to all of you. Today and tomorrow, 2 important days. Today, for some wrong reasons, you know that it is. About 24 years ago, the terrorists attacked the World Trade Center, and it really jolted the whole world. It's on the 11th September, 11th 9th, that's what people talk about. 9/11, that is what famous known about. In spite of the fact that we were the people who are working against this terrorism and all those things, unfortunately that in our country itself there are some leaders who are still supporting this terrorism. Let's be clear about it. We are against any terrorism because it is terrorism is against the mankind. But on the other hand, we have a wonderful message to give to the mankind. That's what is tomorrow's actually. 12th September it happened, 1893. That was Swami Vivekananda first time. He represented the Parliament of World Religion, Hinduism. And while giving Hinduism, the way that he presented in such a way, remember in 1893, that was the time India, we were a slave country. I'll tell you, 1857 was the great Indian war, first war against for independence. Jhansi Lakshmi fought. But then unfortunately the last 3 days turned the tables and then we lost it. But the jolt was so big that British government changed the whole governing system. From East India Company, they sent direct control over India by sending a viceroy here. Then you can imagine the British government shook by the 1857 war. After that they changed various systems, and that time this big system they changed, they said for the next 1,000 years India will not raise its head because we are changing the education system, we are changing the belief system, we are changing everything. For 1,000 years India cannot raise their head. This is what the statement, actually recorded statement is there. Though they said 1,000 years, not even 50 years, 1857, this happened, 1893, Swami Vivekananda went all the way to Chicago to represent Hinduism at the Parliament of World Religions, and probably that you must have heard the talk that was there, a recorded talk of Swamiji, and at the end of the talk, next day newspapers have given the idea saying that this man came to Parliament of World Religion and conquered the world. This is the expression that they are given. American newspapers. And another newspaper has written that to send this country, which is represented by Vivekananda, to send missionaries to teach them about spirituality, we should be ashamed of. That means you can just imagine what is the amount of impression Swami Vivekananda created in the Western minds. That was the power of Vivekananda. Because basically, he came with a whole lot of power behind him. And there are people who fill their life with age. That means they live, but a lot of age is filled with that. That's what is modern science is also trying to increase the age of the people. 100 years you live, 120 years you live. But what is the achievement? Nothing. Whereas there are some people who filled age with life. That means they lived short life, but they lived so illustriously that 33 years of life can become something which is a lifeline for us for 2000 years. And that's what happened in the case of Shankaracharya. He lived for 33 years. But look at the amount of work that he has done, unparalleled. Another such person India produced is Vivekananda. Did not even see 40 years. But the amount of energy that he carried, amount of work that he has done, every Indian leader who has fought for the freedom of country said that they are inspired by Vivekananda. That is the extraordinary thing that he has given. And the man was so powerful, potential, courage. We have to learn that from Vivekananda. Having been in Swami Vivekananda Yoga Anusandhan Samsthan, that's the message we need to carry. Like for example, I give you a couple of incidents that Swami Vivekananda created during his lifetime when he was alive, what kind of energy he gave to the people, what kind of potential he carried in his words that he has given. Extraordinary. One thing is that it so happened that one time he was traveling from Bombay to Belgaum by train, and his friend, he bought a first class train ticket for both for Vivekananda and himself. They were sitting in the first class compartment of the train. A couple of Indians were also there, and a Britisher entered into the compartment. The moment Britisher came, immediately the Indians, they became nervous and they sat down on the floor of the compartment. And this Marwadi also was getting down, but Swamiji caught hold of his collar, made him to sit on the seat, and said that you have valid ticket, sit on the seat. Looking at Swamiji's power, probably that Britisher was unnerved. But the only thing is that he was uncomfortable. He called a TT and wanted to somehow create a problem there. He called TT and said, check the ticket out. In Hindi he said, Inka ticket, iska ticket check karo. Because they were in the first class compartment. Swamiji immediately took up the case and said, you are a Britisher, you should give respect to co-passenger. Iska nahi bolna chahiye, aapka ticket check karo karke bolna hai. यानी तो इनका टिकट चेक करो. You see, that's the right way. That means he found fault within himself. And then he said, immediately he said, I am Britisher, I don't know English, I don't know Hindi. That's why I said like that. Then he converted itself into English, saying that, TT, he said, check the ticket of this man. Swamiji took his fault in the English itself. He said, you are a British, and British know to give a ticket. You should say this gentleman, because co-passenger, you can't say man. Second fault. And he became nervous. And then the TT checked the ticket of these two people, everybody, all the others, everything is all right. He was going. Then Swamiji said to TT, your job is to check the ticket of everybody. Why don't you take the ticket of everybody? Then he asked the Britisher. Unfortunately, Britisher didn't have the ticket. Third mistake. But then to avoid the difficult condition, that TT took the Britisher away and made him to sit in some other compartment. But at that point of time, Swamiji said one word. This is recorded actually. He said to the Indians who were sitting in the compartment, he addressed and said, British are not ruling us. We allowed them to rule us. The day when you say get back, they will go back. One sentence he said. But that power of sentence was so much. This happened when Swamiji was 24 years. It happened in 1891. But then, 1936, when Mahatma Gandhi was tried in Nagpur court for blasphemy, for this thing, inciting Indians, for war, etc., all those things, it went to the court. In the court, Bapuji said that he will fight his own case. Then everybody is waiting, so many millions of people were waiting to see that what's happening. Then the public prosecutor of the British company, he gave the whole account of what Bapuji has given in his books and this and that, inciting people. Everybody was boiling. Now Bapuji is going to reply that suitably. But Bapuji was very peaceful, calm, with a smile. He got up and said to the public prosecutor, you did a nice job. Actually, what I could not do it, you did it. You explained very beautifully what I wanted to say, much better than what I could do it. And then he turned to the judge and said, my dear Judge Saab, what I meant to say is that you don't have to rule us, we can rule ourselves, you can go back. What Swamiji said, Gandhiji repeated. And the judge gave the judgment saying that I am a British judge, therefore 1 month imprisonment for Gandhi, simple imprisonment. But in second para he read, he opened my eyes That's why here is my resignation letter. That was the beginning of British receding from India. That one word of Swami Vivekananda created that impact. Like that, there are several incidents which Vivekananda did extraordinary things. Like for example, when he came to Bangalore, he came to our city market, and from there he was taken to Mysore Maharaja, Nalvadi Krishna's Vadiya. Then Maharaja was so impressed by Swamiji, he was hardly 24 years old. And he said, Swamiji, you are a great visionary for this country. So what is there for me as a king? Swamiji said, when time comes, I will let you know. Swamiji did not leave it. And then he went away. After that, he was going to USA. In the ship that he met his co-passenger, and he was this Jamshedji Naushedwanji Tata, senior Tata, 70-year-old man, looked at Swamiji, 25-year-old. He said, my God, this man has so much of energy, so much of India in him. So what is there for me? See, in your scheme of things for India, what is there for me? Then Swamiji replied to Tata saying that the future of India depends upon science and technology. And you should start an institution of a nature of Harvard and Cambridge's. Better than that. And Tata said, where to start? He said, I told Mysore Maharaja, he will show a place and you start that. And that's what is Tata Institute, which is later on known as IISc, Indian Institute of Science. It was Vivekananda's instruction that was given. Actually, afterwards, Vivekananda wrote a letter to Mysore Maharaja. A copy of that letter is there in our files. And now look at what happened. This institute started in 1930s, but 1930s, and Swamiji, when he said that, after that, look at the way, in 2000, Bill Gates was saying that big company, Microsoft, he said, on my left hand I have Harvard and Cambridge, on my right hand I have IITs, which is in line with IISc. What Swamiji said 50 years later, it became a reality. That means Swamiji is not words, the power of words. So that's what is important. Extraordinary thing about Swamiji is that he might say in such simple language, but you don't know how much power it carries. One more incident I will tell and stop it here, and that is, China war was taking place and our platoon was fighting Chinese army in Himalayas, and the whole platoon was bombed, everybody died. When everybody died, quiet, 2-3 hours later, one fellow got up because he did not die. Young fellow, 22 years, got up, he saw all his colleagues died. That made him all the more sad. He says that if any one of them was alive, there is somebody in the family, they would have been happy with him because he's alive. And I am here an orphan, I don't know where I come from, I don't have anybody. In army they send photos and letters and all that. He has nobody, whether he is alive, nobody is happy, he dies, nobody said yes. I am alive. He felt very sad. Meanwhile, anyway, helicopter came, lifted him, took him to the Sion hospital, where he was treated. 6 months, 1 year, 6 months that his leg became alright. He had a bullet injury. And then the hospital said, now you are alright, we will discharge you, go home. Then he left that place, directly went to the army headquarters. Army said, you are already injured, therefore we retire you. We don't need you in army, you go home. Everybody says you go home, hospital says you go home, army says go home, and only home he has is his platoon who are there in the heaven. He said, okay, let me go to heaven, my home is there. So he went to a shop, bought a bottle of poison, drank, thinking that the municipality will take away this body, I will reach my home. 3-4 hours later he got up, because adulteration was so bad, the poison didn't kill him. Even death God doesn't want me. Sad, depressed, nothing to do. Then there was roadside, it doesn't know much reading and writing, roadside there was a bookshop. He purchased a small little, Thus Spake Vivekananda book. That's in Hindi or Marathi. And there he just opened a page, a quotation from Swami Vivekananda he found. The quotation said, I don't mind Vivekananda's quotation, Vivekananda saying, I don't mind taking 100 times rebirth if I can remove the tears of one person. If I can remove the tears of one person, I can take 100 times rebirth. When he read that, the thought came to him, I'm alive here, trying to die. And this man says he will come 100 times to remove the tears of one person. Why not I do that? Simple thought. Then daily newspaper you saw, the farmers are killing themselves because of drought. An army experience is there, okay, let me go and help them. For a person, he is an orphan, he doesn't belong to any place is his place. Directly went there, and the place is Ralegaon, and then stayed in a Vinayaka temple, and then started working with the farmers. In 3 months, they could create water resources, and they could create the farming for the farmers. In 3 years, they could supply enough food for the whole of Maharashtra. One sentence of Vivekananda created the whole thing, and that man is Anna Hazare. Vivekananda created one Gandhi, Vivekananda created one Anna Hazare. So Vivekananda is always alive. That's what is the Universal Brotherhood Day message, that we are all here to see that, as Vaidya so beautifully said, that Vivekananda is there. Every one of us, you also are, me also there, we are all Vivekananda. Let's put together and take this name of Vivekananda to the heights of the glory. What our Prime Minister was saying, that Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, it can only be possible if you all stand united behind Swami Vivekananda. Om Tat Sat.
Shanti mantra. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.